Hi everyone, welcome to Sue Art's channel, including painting, pastels and much more. I have here a painting that I'd started in acrylic, which I wasn't happy with, and I'm going to use it as an undercoat colour background for a pastel painting. But first I need to put some grit onto the paper so that the pastels will have something to bind onto. So I have got this golden pastel ground, which is a textured acrylic primer, and I'm going to paint this all over the surface of the painting so that it will just give me something for the pastels to stick to, as it's rather smooth is this paper. As you can see, there isn't some transparency to this pastel ground, so I shall still be able to get the benefit of having the background colours. This is going to be quite good, because it will mean that when I put the pastels on, there's some sort of textures which will come through and will give a unity to the whole of the painting. So I just have to make sure that I don't miss any areas. Especially the middle. When I finished, if I just swipe straight across in lines, that will smooth out the texture of the pastel and also make sure that I've covered every single part of the painting. I don't know whether you can see that at the moment. That is the golden pastel ground that I'm using. Well, I've dried off the picture with my hairdryer, washed my brush, very important, and also I've just had a cup of tea. So I'm ready to start working with my pastels now. And I just have to point out that normally if I was putting background colour to a pastel painting, it wouldn't be quite as defined as this. There would just be general colours and shapes where I wanted that colour to come through the pastels. But this was, as I said, a painting that I started meaning to totally finish it in acrylic, but I didn't like it, so I'm just going to see what I can do with it rather than throwing it away. My pastels that I've picked out at the moment are a range of colours that I can already see in the picture, in the painting, and ranging from turquoise blues to ultramarine blues, pale whites and blues for the sky, and then orange reds for the sunset. So I shall be working with those, but also dipping into my other pastels that I have if I need them. I like to have a range of colours to start with, so I'm not just right at the beginning hunting for the colours I want. And I shall be putting a very light touch over the painting, and possibly starting with the lighter areas. This is the light breaking through where the clouds are. I'm not very happy with the cloud at the top here. She'll have to do something with that. I don't think it would have been quite as dark as that. What I shall do now is to put it on fast speed so that you can see how I'm developing the picture.
Ba
Well, I've now spent a few minutes covering most of the paper with the pastel, just to get a feeling of how the painting is going to look as a pastel painting. It's become a lot brighter, perhaps too bright, so I'm going to look at the areas that I want to keep and then try and soften some of the other areas. I personally like the shades that I'm getting in the water. Not too happy with the reflections of the setting sun in the water. I need to work on that. This area here doesn't suggest clouds to me. I'm quite happy with the orange that I'm beginning to get through, which would be the light casting up, I think, from the sun onto the clouds. Perhaps the clouds that were over at the top should be a darker colour, and I think I need to put a few more sort of muted tones in. Also, not sure what this is. It could be a mountain. Maybe I'll make it into a mountain. I don't think it quite works as a background cloud. So I'm going to carry on with it. have it. I think I'm reasonably happy, certainly happier than the original painting that I'd abandoned, and I've quite enjoyed using the pastels on a very strong imaginary sunset, the sort that we often get over the coast here in Southport, very dramatic skies. I can't do any more for two reasons. One is that the light is failing a bit outside, so I haven't got much more time before I really can't see what I'm doing, and the other is that the pastels I've used were quite soft, so I could paint quickly. I didn't want too much detail, but you can't build up massive layers with soft pastels. You just have to paint. Once you get a certain layer of pastel on the paper, it just starts flaking off, and that started to happen in one or two areas, especially up in the sky here. So I think this is a time when I shall just finish this painting off, perhaps have a look at it tomorrow when the light's better, and see if I need any finishing touches.